I need to begin with some sad news. We have just a few minutes ago received the news that His Holiness Bhakti Kshetra Swami has departed the world. He was being treated, I believe, in Florida. He had been in India. He had departed India to America, and it's quite possible he contracted this coronavirus on the flight. And then because of his possibly less than ideal health condition as it was, in any case, his age was not to his advantage. He was soon brought to the hospital, and soon after that, he was put on a ventilator, and basically it went down from there. There was some indications of improvement for, I heard news a couple of times that improvement was there and so on. But then again, we heard that things were deteriorating. And then we heard just 2 days ago, I think, that he had heart attack, 2 or 3 days ago. And with heart attack, everything went very quickly downhill from there. Failure of kidneys, failure of other organs. So it seems that Srila Prabhupada has some other service for him in another place. But his departure is a huge loss for our movement. He was very dear, especially dear to Srila Prabhupada in so many ways. And I'm sure we'll be hearing more about more memories about him in coming days. Apparently they will have a memorial service tomorrow for him. But I thought what we can do now is, instead of singing the Sharanagati song, which we were going to, that we sing the appropriate song of Srila Narottama Thakura, Anilo prema-dhana. So today we have a bit more of a proper bhajan group for this purpose. So we're going to change location and continue from there.
He's translating. No. Okay.
Did you notice there is a link for song lyrics in the message area in the chat, so you can just click on the link and follow the lyrics.
heno prabhu kothā gelā ācārya-t heno prabhu kothā gelā eka-kāle kothā gelā eka-kāle kothā gelā Asane kuti mata anare tashigo Asane kuti mata anare tashigo Asane kuti mata anare tashigo Koranga Gunera Nidhi Uta Gele Pago Koranga Gunera Nidhi Uta Koranga Gunera Nidhi Uta Gele Pago Sangira Sangha Vilā Sangira Sangha Vilā se-saba Sangira Sangha se-sańga napaya kante se-sańga napaya kante se-sańga napaya kante Narottama se-sańga napaya kante prema-dhana Koruna pracur Anilo prema-dhana Koruna pracur heno prabhu kothā eka- kāle heno prabhu kothā gelā Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna. Can you hear me here? Okay,
Yes.
different microphone. So the translation of this song is called Saparshada Bhagavat Viraha Janita Vilapa. The word Vilapa means lamentation. Oops, yeah. Little higher, one more. Oh, not so far away. Yeah. Okay. Good. So the word Vilapa means lamentation, and Saparshada Bhagavat Viraha Janita, Janita arising from, coming out, born from, Viraha, separation, from the associates Saparshada of Bhagavan. close this door. Yeah, thank you. And they can keep the kitchen door closed. Okay. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivasa Acharya gone? Where are my Sarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopala Bhatta, and where is Krishnadas Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottama Das simply weeps. So this is, again, for someone who has just joined, we are just now honoring His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, who we have just had the sad news just a few minutes ago has departed. Departed from his very unpleasant condition as a result of the coronavirus, and by the treatment that was given to him. I suspect that after some time it will be found that this was precisely the wrong treatment. But in any case, we have to see it also as the Lord's arrangement. We have to understand the Lord has his higher purpose, and being the great preacher that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami was, no doubt he was called upon for similar services elsewhere in Lord Chaitanya's mission, Srila Prabhupada's mission. Something that always struck me about Bhakti Charu Swami was his, we may say, fierce dedication to Srila Prabhupada and his mission and his institution. He very much took seriously Srila Prabhupada's desire to have an international society for Krishna consciousness, and he took it very much to heart that it was his duty, his very pleasurable duty to promote the mission, and so he gave so much time to maintaining the society, particularly through his position on the GBC, but also in so many other ways. He was instrumental. Some years ago, the new Mayapur project, the new Mayapur property in France, was very much threatened by difficult financial conditions. And as I am aware, it was very much Bhakti Charu Swami's intervention that, and no doubt many others who helped who saved the property so that we still have it in our society. So, of course, for our society, his departure is a great loss, and no doubt his many direct followers, his disciples, are in a state of shock now, and we may convey our heartfelt condolences to all of them and to all who have been close to him over the many years of his service. And yes, it is very much appropriate that devotees feel sadness. There is a kind of spiritual lamentation. That is what is being observed by Narottama Das in his song. Vilapa, this lamentation. It's a lamentation in the feeling of absence, feeling of the absence of the devotees. And Narottama expresses it so dramatically, especially when he says, Pashane kutivo mata anale poshivo. I will smash my head against the rocks. I will throw myself into fire. So this sense of utter desperation is very wonderful. And repeated throughout the song is the question, kaha, where have all these devotees gone? Where has Srinivasa Acharya gone? Where have the 6 Goswamis gone? And incidentally, tomorrow, at least here in Europe, it's tomorrow that we observe Srila Sanatana Goswami's Tirobhavtiti, along with Guru Purnima, the Purnima of the Guru. It's a kind of generic Guru Puja or Vyasa Puja day in India. And it's also going to be the first day of Chaturmasya. I just wanted to say more about the song of Narottama. Narottama is lamenting the absence of all these devotees, and most especially he is lamenting the absence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And of course he is lamenting all the others as associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he's referring to Mahaprabhu as Nataraja, as the king of dancers. And so he's suggesting that the king of dancers has moved elsewhere to continue his dancing. And so we may understand also that the devotees, when they depart this world, they go to join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his wonderful Sankirtan as Nataraj. Hare Krishna. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. So we wanted to see if there's anyone who has some show and tell, or just show, or just tell for today.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, we have Mataji Dira Lalita and Mataji Sugopi Tunga Vidya with her presentation, PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, and Hare Krishna, everybody.
Haribol.
Well, thank you very much, Guru Maharaj, for reminding us of this Guru Purnima tomorrow. I think I'm a bit upset, but I'll try to put that away now and I'll read what I prepared for today. Actually, I'm going to show you something first. So it's nothing too exciting. This is a bottle with something in it, and it's a rose water. I started making rose water for Shri Radha Ishwara from my garden, and it's very fragrant. And today I received a text from Pujaris in London, Soho, and they said that they're using this for bathing the deities for puja, and they're using it to wash a Lord's feet in the evening before they put him to sleep. So I would encourage everybody, if you could grow roses, I could send you a recipe how to make very fragrant rose water for your deities or for temple. And sometimes it's good also to spray in the front of the deities, so the air is fragrant. That's one thing that I'm going to show you. And another thing, I have 3 things to show. So over here, it's a plant. I don't know if you can see the flowers. So what's significant about this plant is called Gora. Yeah, I discovered it a couple of years ago, and it grows in white flowers and pink flowers. So I was thinking of surrounding the area where I live with things that can remind me of Krishna. So each time I see this plant or I tend a plant in the garden, obviously I remember Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's a beautiful plant. Yeah, it's a beautiful plant to have and remember Lord Gauranga. And also, I would like to encourage devotees, those who don't have, this is another plant, who don't have enough space and can grow only indoor. It takes only 1 flower pot, and this is quite prolific plant. It flowers nicely. But what's good about this plant is the leaves are so scented that can be offered to Krishna. This is called leaf-scented geranium, and it has many different fragrances that you can get. This one is rose one. You just smell the leaf, and it smells like a rose. So it's very easy to grow and can be offered during the winter if you don't have any flowers.
It smells like rose, but it's a geranium.
Yes. It is a geranium, but the leaves smell as a rose. Very interesting.
Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. Yeah. Amazing world plants. That was my show. And
that's the show part. Now comes the tell part.
This comes the tell. Apart from making a rose water for deities, it's just, I was thinking that, any rose on the planet is actually edible. You can make beverages from it. You can make teas from it. And it has lots and lots of healing properties that you can find out. So I will not go into that. So just growing 1 rose, it has so many purposes. And obviously the main purpose that can be offered to Krishna and have benefits for devotees' bodies. The thing that I would like to say, knowing that tomorrow is Guru Purnima, I would like to thank Guru Maharaj for mentioning to me personally and I've heard him saying in many different occasions that that we personally need to find a situation that's comfortable enough for us in order to be able to serve Krishna. Somehow that situation came through for me, and I'd like to say thank you to Guru Maharaj. Only now I've realized the deeper connection in between inner meditation through a Hare Krishna Mahamantra and the actually externals. There is, practically speaking, no difference. I've heard of it many times, but now it's sort of sunk a bit deeper. It's Srila Prabhupada mentioned this morning in this class in Srimad Bhagavad in 3rd Canto. I've started reading 3rd Canto again for writing, hopefully, in the future. It says that the goal of human life is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's very much connected to Guru Maharaj just saying, find your situation that you're comfortable in order to serve Krishna. And what came to me is that also, Srila Prabhupada says also in one of his classes that Krishna is a seed giver, and Mother Nature is our mother. So I was thinking, practically speaking, we're all related, not only as humans, but also all the species, like animals, plants even. So I became grateful that I could look and be responsible for life of the souls who live in these plants. And I figured that the purpose of plants are to be offered to God. And that made me so joyful. I mean, just recently, I apologize, we didn't understand that earlier. It's just working with plants and having a peaceful nature surroundings. So that was my little presentation. I'm entirely grateful to Guru Maharaj for always encouraging, always directing very gently into a direction that works for me personally, probably for everybody else. And so my life really has sort of fuller purpose in my understanding. It had before, but I just didn't understand it properly. And for the end, I'd like to tell you something light about bees. But did you know how bees sleep at night?
No, please tell us.
They sleep on a flower, back to front, and they hold their legs when they're sleeping. There are about 20,000 different types of bees on the planet, but
Wow.
only 20 types are the honeybees.
Huh.
And the largest bee lives in Himalayas, and its name is Apis, A-P-I-S, and makes very powerful honey, and it's wild. And also there are most of these bees are solitary bees. It means they don't live in colonies.
Huh.
They have their own homes. They don't live in colonies. Not many of them.
Huh.
So I was just thinking, when I watch the bumblebees going into the flower and collecting nectar, as always, remembering that pastime about Srimati Radharani talking to a bee, which is also in Guru Maharaj's book, Bhagavad Purana. It's part of that story is there. So I'll probably read it again this afternoon, so you can find that story about Srimati Radharani and bee. That would be my little tell to everyone. And I'm grateful for you to listening to me. It's just I would encourage everyone, if you can, to have a plant that has meaning to you and to Krishna, and look after it.
Have a plant have a plant that has meaning for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, for Krishna, offered to Krishna.
How many of you have plants in your inside your home?
In the house.
In
Or
the
out,
house? Yeah.
oh, in the house. Well, for now, I grow.
No, I was asking everyone in general.
Oh, everyone in general. Oh, okay.
But yeah, of course, whoever has a garden, you're fortunate. Nowadays, everyone lives in apartments, but yeah, any space for growing things is good. But your point is have plants that connect you with Krishna. Yes, very good.
Of course, Tulsi Devi is the best plants to have that connection to Krishna.
Yeah, if you can keep Tulsi, that's very nice.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, everyone.
We got we got triple show and then tell. And we got double tell, I think. Maybe it was triple tell. We learned about bees. I didn't know there's 20,000 different kinds of bees. Did you know there's 1,000 different kinds of bamboo? Did you know that? It's 1,000 different kinds of bamboo. Yeah. Jalaja Navalakshani Stavara. What is it? Vimshati. Yeah. Good. Thank you. Okay. And then Sugopi Tungavidya. Hare Krishna.
Yes, it's quite a sad news actually. I was getting update about Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. Even today morning I got update, but the latest update I got from you. And I was a bit unfortunate that I never got to interact with him or have any personal association with him. But definitely this opens our eyes that we have to be more dedicated in our bhakti. And I'm still a toddler making so many well, I wanted to share a screen. I'm giving a presentation tomorrow. Yeah, I'm giving a presentation tomorrow here in Gurgaon, and it is quite relevant to the pandemic situation where we need to take care of our health, and it is to do with yoga.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a PPT presentation. So I hope that you all can see.
Yes.
So yes, so this is something to do with yoga for modern age. Actually, the presentation is for new aspiring devotees, and I thought this is a perfect topic because in the serious times we need to get to know our higher purpose of life. So it starts with the definition for yoga, how we get connected to the supreme. Yoga, the word meaning that it is to join or to harness or to yoke, where we try to join. It has very superior meaning. Well, generally it is taken as a physical thing, physical exercise, but definitely this has a higher purpose where we find union with the Supreme. And in fact, Vyasdeva has commented that this is a samadhi where you concentrate on the Supreme. So this is some kind of yoga, like exercises which are not actually yoga. These are only for our physical health, which has nothing to do with yoga. I'm making this presentation quick and yeah. So Bhagavad Gita is actually, as we know, that it is life manual, or gives us knowledge how to aspire for life, but that also teaches the different yoga paths, starting with Sankhya Yoga. This is not right in order, but there is, of course, then Karma Yoga, how we progress, and then Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and that way. Sankhya Yoga is to do with more of to find the relation between soul and the living entity and the super soul inside. So few of the verses which explain that how the soul stays inside the body and how the body changes. And even when the body dies, the soul is actually there. It is eternal. Because it is eternal, it takes up a new body. So it is just like soul, as we change our clothes, the soul is taking up new body every time. So there are three, I refer to three Bhagavad Gita shlokas here. And then it comes to karma. Like generally when we study the Sankhya, it helps us really to understand that we need to do our duties properly. Of course, again, karma, our duties, it falls again under three categories. That is nitya karma, that is the work which is obligatory. We need to do our duties, which is actually prescribed for us. Then there is naimitya karma, which is circumstantial duties, like which come up now and then, like some marriage ceremony or some occasion, death or something. And then kamya karma, which is to do with the desires of mind, desires of body. So they fall under karma. In fact, broad division being the shubha karma and ashubha karma, or karma in auspicious way, which gives auspicious results, and ashubha karma being which is vikarma, which is against the rules and laws or ethics told in Shastra. So even abstaining from doing our nitya karma, our daily prescribed duty, is also can be considered sinful. So we need to do our daily duties. Of course, this is just karma, and then we progress to karma yoga. Anything we do, remembering Lord or in service, like sometimes even if we are not conscious of the Supreme, but we are somehow serving the Lord, like making food for Lord, helping someone in food. So it becomes sort of karma yoga. So it somehow detaches us entanglement of the work we are doing, and we can always give the fruits of our action for the Supreme, even if we are not very conscious, like building up temples or somehow serving the Lord, helping that way. And then comes, like, as we start doing these karma in the karma yoga, then it comes to jnana. The real Gyan actually starts when we start asking ourselves that the few questions I have referred, that who am I, why I'm here, why am I suffering, where does everything come from, what is the purpose of life. So these are the few questions which always comes up in our mind. So we need to actually progress to get answers to these questions. We need to refer to the disciplic succession for proper answers. So the disciplic succession was originally coming from Krishna to Sun God, and then to Manu, and then to Ishwaku. So, and Ishwaku being our he was Lord of the earth, and in fact, Lord Ramchandra appeared in Ishwaku's dynasty. So the knowledge was coming from the Lord that how do we deal with our life and what are our duties, but somehow it got disconnected, and whenever there is some discriminations in the world, then Lord comes and he takes avatar and he comes to teach us, and that's what he did to share the knowledge to Arjuna, Arjuna being devotee and a friend. So we should start the Gyan Yoga by approaching a spiritual master where we can inquire from him with full submission. So that fire of knowledge burns all reactions of our material activities. And as we progress from Jnana, and then we understand the higher purpose, and we then go for Dhyan Yoga, or you can say like Ashtanga Yoga. There are 8 limbs. So these are also not very easy way of attaining Lord's mercy, because we have to go through these 8 limbs, yama, niyama. Yamas are the ethical or the moral conducts, and niyamas are the disciplines, asana, the various physical postures which will elevate us. Pranayama is more to do with the prana or the life force inside us. Then pratyahara, like getting detachment, getting detached to everything. Generally, the aspiring soul goes to a secluded place, then dharana, dhyana. Dharana is meditation, and when that concentration on Supreme becomes perpetual, it is dhyana, and finally samadhi attains spiritual bliss. So this seems quite a big process for this Kali Yuga. So these are the few things to really.
Excuse me,
Yes.
Sugopi.
Yes.
How many more slides did you want to show?
I can. Let's see. So this is the yoga dharma, and
I just wanted to know how much. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. So Maharaj, I think like all of us are quite advanced in spiritual life. So I think that I can pause now, so that next presentation can be given. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
I think if we, go back. Okay, thank you for that. So we got a...
Guru Maharaj, excuse me, we have also Kavichandra Prabhu, which would like to share something.
Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna to all.
Hare Krishna.
Continue topic that was started by Dira Lalita Mataji. So can say she's kind of plantophile, and me too. Sometimes even plantaholic. I heard such notion. Did you hear about plantaholics? Those are people that loves and sometimes love too much. They love too much different plants. So 3 years ago, we went to a trip with Akhilatmananda Prabhu, Mukundamala, and probably the whole family, and my wife, Megamala, to one place that is called. Maybe I start to share my screen. Where it is? Wow. Show computers. Yeah, can you hear? Can you see now? It is called, how it is called? Hortulus. And they have different topical gardens there. One of them is probably Oriental garden or Japanese garden. And we thought, well, maybe we can make such a garden or similar garden in Sadhu-bhavan area. Yeah, so it was, the idea came 3 years ago. And so we started. Maybe I will just I will change screen for this one. So we find place that is at the gates of Sadhu-bhavan possession, and we thought with Akilatmananda Prabhu maybe we can make it here. So, well, let's try it. We asked one lady. She's how this called? She's designing gardens, so she made a sketch for us, and then we made a design, and this design was changed a few times. So this is the last version 4, and so we started according to design. This was 2 years ago. This is beginning of the May. 2 years ago. So we started from designing paths and some earthworks. Yeah, and even there is a system to collect, to harvest rainwater from the roof, and to collect it in big tank that is here below the surface. Yeah, so in this way the project was started, and you can see people that are living in Sadhu-bhavan. Here's the few families. Yeah, you can see. And in other place, Stanisław Prabhu with family also started other garden project. It is there. So I will just show few pictures that was made 2 years ago. So here you can see some roses were planted there, especially roses, because we thought that we can have roses for deities in the Sadhu-bhavan. This is the tank. So some months later, you can see more things appeared in the garden here. And we can see some gravel paths, and some plants were planted already at that time. And this is spring 1 year ago. Yeah, last year, spring. You can see more things and more plants. Some are flowering. And I really can't say English names of those plants, but you can see, here we can see some devotees from Wałbrzych came. Bhaktina Milka and Brihaspati Prabhu are working. It was last summer. And Kumaraj also appeared. And what we did, we have a watering system that was installed with big help, and actually is big knowledge of Vaikuntha Prabhu. He's also our god brother from Stargard Szczeciński in Poland. So he installed different pipes and dripping lines, and you can see even sprinkles I don't know how it is called, sprinkle machine or something.
Sprinkling system.
Yeah, sprinkling system. But there is only one sprinkler there because other pipes are just dripping.
Drip irrigation.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one thing, and I have also a movie that I made 2 weeks ago when I was in Sadhu-bhavan.
Oh.
But I need to share on this player. I wonder whether it will work or not, or you can hear something, or it will. I'm not sure how to.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, can you hear the sound?
We are now on the road that is going to Sadhu-bhavan area, and we are approaching first building. On the left, we can see.
Can you see my?
Yes.
Comment?
Pond.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good.
That is now almost dry because of drought, but still you can see some water.
If you cannot hear me, then I can.
And
No, we can hear.
Okay.
here on the left side, we can see the building, and here under heavy development we have a meditation garden that is called Buddhi Yoga Garden or Buddha Garden. Here we have some Far East species of different plants like rhododendrons, etc. Here we have some flowers, and here is forest-like area with some funkia. This is also a nice Far East plant. I don't know the name, English name, but still we have more work to do. And
Kilatmananda Prabhu started build the second bridge. We are going to have like 3 bridges there at least, or 4 bridges. Well,
I'm going through main gate now, and you can see the procession here. A barn on the right side, Sadhu-bhavan building.
so Guru Maharaj is sitting now in this very building here. Here, somewhere.
This very building.
Yeah.
On the left side, and here is house of Vanamali Prabhu and Bhaktagamya, and here is living also Mukundamala Mataji and with Akilatmananda and the family. And here is the garden Bhaktagamya. Mogę Cię pokazać tylko na chwilkę? Here Bhaktagamya is working, and vegetable garden, and this garden was renewed this year, so you can see like half of mandala is here with different vegetables and flower garden also, and at the and here we have new settings of lavender, and here on the backyard is quite nice orchid. So that's all for now.
Okay, so that was show and tell. And just well, I like it to show you this this Sadhu-bhavan garden and Sadhu-bhavan at all,
Yeah.
because it's a really special place, and I hope Guru Maharaj will tell something more about this maybe sometime, because you are there now.
I'm amazed. I'm just realizing you mentioned it's been 3 years since you started the, what are we calling it? The Japanese Polish garden.
Yeah.
And I don't think you see quite as clearly as we do directly looking now from your photos, but it's really blossoming now. It's really looking like a serious garden. And there's still some more work to do, as you said, bridge building. But no, it's very nice. You've been very determined to make it happen. So with your plantaholism, what is it? You're a whatever. Anyway, so that's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, but garden, there is no garden without gardener.
Yeah,
and
that's you.
And yeah, the problem is I'm living more than
living on the other side of Poland.
Yeah, almost 400 kilometers from this place. So it's not so easy, but thanks to Mukunda Mala and Akilat Mananda, they are both also plantaholics, actually, from my point of view.
Yes.
If there is possibility to go to place where you can buy some plants, then eyes are opening.
Yeah.
Like this. So yeah, plants are very important in Krishna's service, of course, and hopefully we'll develop this project more and more. If someone likes to come someday and to enjoy the garden or like to help, then you are welcome.
Well, yes and no. At this point, we're not so much encouraging.
Yeah, not now.
But
not now.
in due course of time. Okay, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank all of you, showers and tellers. Yeah, our time is going by, and I'm quite neutral. What is preferred? We can either do a bit more of the dialogical Vaishnavism discussion, or I was asked to also do a bit of not more telling than showing. Actually, I can show something also. Should I do some show and tell?
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Well, okay. Let me see. First, I'll just share with you one or two slides from what I presented yesterday at a conference. It was an online international conference on called Sacred Journeys. Very nice group of people, about 30 scholars from around the world. Oops, that's the other one. Let's go here. Yeah. Okay, let me back up. My presentation, well, I'll back up to the introduction. I won't do the whole thing though. So this conference is pilgrimage, and there's so many different types of pilgrimage in all different parts of the world. So it's a fascinating subject. So I received information about this conference coming up, that they were accepting presentation proposals, but I only got this news one day prior to the deadline. but I thought of a subject and I put together a proposal, and this was it, to talk about New Vrajadam in southwest Hungary, and about the fact that it's a kind of what I'm calling a replication of Vrindavan. And what I'm doing is sort of looking at what's involved in this process of replication. And so I've given this little chart suggesting we have the notion of Dhamma, and then through narrative, Lila, which is told orally and also in written form. Then we have geographical locations and, of course, deities. And then I go back to discuss a bit about the original Vrindavan, the fact that more people visit Vrindavan today than visit the Taj Mahal. They say some 8 million visitors per year. And then I talk about New Vrajadam a little bit and show them the temple room and the deities, Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar. And then introduce them to Srila Prabhupada and Shivaram Swami. And specifically, I'm calling attention to the books which he has written, this quite amazing set of books called Navavraja Mahima, which is 8 volumes, quite thick volumes, like 400 pages each, plus this map book. And then I explain a bit more about the idea of Leela. I give example of Krishna's Kaliyadamana Leela. And then these are students from Bhaktivedanta College, Budapest. They've been studying yoga, and they come to New Vrajadam for a 5-day intensive experience. This is the college in Budapest, which is supported by the Hungarian government. They're quite well established in that sense. And then I go back to my sort of graphic analysis of what's going on with a bit of addition. So what I'm saying is you start with Dhamma, you start with Vrindavan Dham in India, and through this process, you come to another Dhamma, another sacred space. You create, or it is created. So, like that. Anyway, so we had, I had my presentation yesterday. For me, it was interesting that this conference went on as it did quite successfully over a period of 5 days, about 2 hours every day and about 30 participants. And as I said, very nice group of people with some very interesting presentations. So I was taking part in that. Okay, that's my show. Now, before I go on, I do have some news that's just come in that what I announced was actually not true, that His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami is still with us. Hare Krishna. That it's a rumor that he has already departed. No, we're now being told he has not departed. He is, however, he is still in very critical condition. So I was remembering that His Holiness Satchidananda Swami likes to say, I believe in miracles. So maybe, just maybe, I mean, I think it will take a miracle for him to survive, but we believe in miracles. So let us now shift our mood to hope, even if it's hope against hope. Okay, now, here we go. Oh, the other thing I was supposed to tell, I think it was Soumya Karani. Are you there somewhere? She was asking me to tell about, okay. You were asking me to say something about my promotion of the book, Cow Care in Hindu Animal Ethics in India. Maybe not a whole lot to say, but after I left Mayapur in, what was it, end of February or beginning of March, I went to Delhi, and the timing was actually not the best because many devotees of the Delhi Yatra had simultaneously left Delhi to go to Mayapur. But there wasn't much to be done. That was kind of the way my schedule was working. So anyway, I went to Delhi, and with help from a few devotees, especially Yudhishthira Govinda Prabhu, who is the communications officer. I think he is for all of India involved. In any case, he initially I was doubtful, is he actually going to be helping, but he became very much active to make arrangements for me to have various meetings. Yeah, he arranged a very nice interview with a lady, a journalist from Speaking Tree, which is part of which newspaper, I'm forgetting now, one of the major Indian newspapers. And also, quite last minute, it was arranged for me to present at Punjab University in Chandigarh, which involved being driven to Chandigarh in the morning and having lunch with a nice family, and then having the presentation, and then driving back to Delhi all in one day. Can't recommend that. We stopped in Kurukshetra on the way back. Bit intense. I wouldn't recommend. 4 hours drive there, 4 hours drive back. Anyway, but it was nice, and the person in charge at this event in Punjab University said that he would announce, I don't know how, but he would make some kind of announcement or recommendation that every college that's affiliated with this university, and there are close to 200 colleges, should order a copy of the book for their library. So that was nice. And I just gave presentations in a few of the ISKCON temples around the Delhi area, including Dwarka and Rohini and Noida and Of course, also Kailash, maybe one more place. Oh yes, Punjabi Bagh. Yeah, and all the devotees were very much appreciating. I should say that I don't know if it was my fault, but just some weeks after this, I found out that the GBC has made a new rule. And the rule is that no one should promote their book or whatever from the Vyasa. So it's forbidden, strictly forbidden now. Which means everyone is just going to go online, and we won't sit on Vyasa-sans, we'll just sit on normal chairs. Anyway, from there I went on to Mumbai, actually just a stopover, went immediately to Pune. And ISKCON Pune welcomed us very warmly, did similar program there, met some significant people together with Kalakanta Prabhu, the minister of cow care and agriculture, ISKCON. And so, yeah, we made especially one contact with two professors who are working in research of cow products and such. And there's a lot of potential there for some sort of collaboration, maybe possible. Then we went to Mumbai, and in Chowpatty we celebrated Gaur Purnima, and again some book promotion. Oh, I should also mention in Pune, His Holiness Lokanath Swami was giving a 7-day Gora Katha with several hundred people participating, and he very generously allowed us to come on stage and for a few minutes to speak about the book. Of course, all of this is also distributed through the various WhatsApp networks, the social networks that devotees have. We also met one devotee in Chowpatty who is one of the leaders of the yatra, and he's also a businessman. And he pledged 1 lakh rupees, for 1 lakh means 100,000, for purchasing copies of the book, hardbound copies, to be distributed to the colleges and universities of the greater Mumbai area. So that's going to provide us with the money to have about 70 copies to go to all these different colleges for their libraries. So that's something we still have to arrange. And yeah, soon after these things, then the lockdown started to happen. And I found myself in Nilachal Vedic village, Talasari, north of Mumbai, where I couldn't really do much in the way of promoting the book. So I chanted Hare Krishna instead. Yeah. I've been invited to speak on this book. There's some podcasts and such things coming up. So, oh, and I may mention, some of you have heard, as most of you know, the book is available in digital format through open access, and we now have, according to the publisher, 30,000 downloads of the book. So that's within about six-month period. So somebody is reading the book. What I'm waiting for now, though, is some book reviews, some proper book review. And those usually take some time. I'm hoping within the next few months or maybe the next couple of years. They usually take their time, book reviews, but that will be interesting to see. Okay, Hare Krishna. Well, we still have a little over half an hour. Shall we continue with our Dialogical Vaishnavism?
Yes, please.
Okay, last time we went through the 5 points of the official declaration, official position of ISKCON on dialogue. And I'm continuing from there. Again, we are making this seminar, usually in Mayapur, over a 3-day period, several hours each day. So what we're doing now is spreading it out quite a bit, which has, in one side, an advantage that it's not too much all at once, and another side, the spreading out makes it a bit more disconnected, perhaps. But so be it. Now, what I've suggested here, trying to move this out of the way. No, it's all right. Is that this interfaith statement may or may not be perfect. It could possibly use improvements. And one thing that can be done with it is to expand it by giving purports to each of the points. And indeed, to some extent, this has already been done, but I just want to suggest that for ourselves, we can also think about this statement and how it resonates for us. Is it a good statement, or certain parts of it may be a problem for us? And as we may reflect on this interfaith statement, we may also reflect on our own understanding of what is ISKCON. And here I want to take a bit of a digression to share with you His Holiness Kadamba Swami's essay. He printed it recently. This is called Diving Deep from Surface to Substance, the 3 Layers of Spiritual Institutions. And he is in particular, it's just a little pamphlet, he's in particular speaking about ISKCON. I've talked about this quite a few times with devotees because I think it's helpful to appreciate ISKCON in a positive light, and how to how to maintain devotional sanity if and when surrounded by institutional insanity. So why I think this Kadamba Kanana Maharaj's article helps is because he's identifying 3 different dimensions of the organization. Maybe I should hold this up too on the first page. You can see the first level is the organization, the second level is the perfect process, and the third level is divine intervention. And just very much to summarize what he's saying here, it's not all one. He's making distinctions. We have an organization which is necessary for lots of reasons, for developing and maintaining community and facilities, and for missionizing, to produce our literature and so on. All of this is necessary. But it's only one dimension. He quotes Srila Prabhupada here. This is a letter from 1973. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter, dated such and such, and I have noted the contents with great concern. I do not know what are exactly the facts of the matter, but if there are any discrepancies, anything irregular, as you say in the temples of ISKCON, they should be immediately rectified by conscientious officers. Of course, we cannot expect to find always any utopia in this material world. That is a fallacy. If you inquire from our students more carefully, you will come to understand that these superficial matters are not very serious in the long run, and that the students are becoming very happy by their acquiring spiritual knowledge and serving Krishna in so many ways. Well, Kadamba Kanana Maharaj makes a kind of parallel between the 3 levels of adhikar and these 3 levels of institution. So he's suggesting kanishta adhikar, or a kanishta adhikari would be one who simply identifies with the organization. Whereas a madhyama adhikari would include the organization, but would also be concerned about his or her sadhana. And so he's saying the second level is the level of each of us engaging in our sadhana bhakti practice. And of course, this sadhana bhakti practice very much includes, it's very much, there's a great emphasis on Sanga, Sadhu Sanga, association with devotees. And then the third dimension is this kind of putting parallel with the Uttama Adhikari position, what he calls the consummate devotee, the full-fledged devotee. And this is the level, this is the dimension of divine intervention. This is where Sri Chaitanya, as he put it in one talk he gave, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the universe as we speak, and whether or not we are participating, whether or not we are helping or serving, it is in any case going on. He, toward the end, he's talking about the increase of faith, because adhikar is understood in terms of 3 levels of faith. And so, of course, there is the progression that Srila Rupa Goswami gives us, ado shraddha tada sadhu-sango ta, tato bhajana kriya, and so on. All of this we can also understand in the context of the idea of the mission or the society that Srila Prabhupada called the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So anyway, I won't go further into that, but I find it helpful. I don't know where this, I don't know if this is available online. Quite possibly, if you look at Kadamba Kanana Maharaj's website, kksblog.com, it's quite possible that he makes it available there. Okay, moving along. We may also think about the 7 purposes of ISKCON in relation to dialogue. More specifically, the first of the 7 purposes, which is worded this way: to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large, and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. Notice one point, of course, Srila Prabhupada does refer to Krishna in other of the 7 purposes, but in this first purpose, he doesn't mention Krishna. So he's speaking in a very general sort of way. And we may start with the last phrase, which is indicating what is the purpose specifically, namely to achieve, the final goal is to achieve real unity and peace in the world. Something which seems to be very scarce these days.
Guru Maharaj, excuse me, apologize to interrupting you. Would you be so kind just to, maybe you're still sharing the replicating Vraja presentation. If you want to share maybe some other screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please share some other screen.
Oh, because on my screen, okay, I didn't know you have to change like that. Let's see. So that means I'll have to get out of this, stop share, and then I'll have to start again. Okay, how's that?
Perfect, that's it. Thank you very much.
Next time, please remind me earlier. Okay, so Yeah, to achieve real unity and peace in the world. Wow, that's a big project. That's like, are we little Hare Krishnas? Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to do it all alone? I don't know. Of course, everything's possible, but we might find we want, unity means working, some sort of working together, some sort of sense of cooperation. So thinking about a theological basis for dialogue, we could spend more time on this, but I just want to call attention to this expression we're all familiar with, Sanatana Dharma. What does Sanatana mean? It means eternal, which we may think in time, in terms of time, the passing of time. We may also think of it as instead of chronological time, in terms of space, of inclusion. So we can think of Sanatana Dharma as the principle of inclusion, the principle of pursuing that which is beyond any sectarian understanding. So this is a discussion which is included, as I remember, in the pamphlet of the ISKCON interfaith statement. And this is in particular addressed, of course, to us, to devotees. If we want to practice dialogue with others, then what are the qualities that we want to cultivate? Certainly we want to start with humility. And sometimes we're maybe a little proud of being humble. Oh yes, we are devotees, and therefore, by definition, I am very humble. Well, is that really the case? I just heard in the last couple of days a podcast, a discussion amongst devotees on the subject of dealing with Black Lives Matter. This is this phrase which has become prominent in America. We talked about this last time because of the very terrible racial conflict that always seems to persist over decades and centuries. So they had a discussion on this subject, and all of the devotees in the discussion were people of color, as is another expression, African American or otherwise. And especially one devotee was speaking, but others as well, of their own experience of racism within ISKCON. One of the devotees has grown up in ISKCON from birth. In any case, and he's a full-on regular Hare Krishna devotee, very dedicated and very thoughtful devotee. And he said, it's just simply a fact. There's a lot of racism in our society, which he has felt. Anyway, so we sort of automatically think I'm a devotee and therefore I'm cool. I'm humble. Yeah. I'm not a racist, because I know that we're not this body. So whether we understand how deeply we feel as devotees? How far down does it go? This we need to ask ourselves. The unlimited nature of Krishna. We saw in the statement, it was either the third or fourth of the 5 statements, that we don't have a monopoly. The absolute truth is universal. No individual or organization has a monopoly on the Lord. He reveals himself wherever, whenever, however, and to whomever he pleases. The Lord is unlimited, which means also he is completely independent. Often we hear people saying, well, my God is like this or like that. My God this, my God that. As if God belongs to anyone, including Hare Krishnas. Now, it's true, there is within our practice, within our theology, there is reference, there is use sometimes of the term mamata, which is just the nominal abstraction of the word mama. Mama means mine, belonging to me, and mamata just means mine-ness, the sense of ownership. And an advanced devotee can feel mamata, can feel ownership of Krishna. That's a very advanced stage, because that's the stage where Krishna becomes the devotee's servant. Krishna wants to please his devotee, and therefore makes arrangements to realize his devotee's desires. Otherwise, Krishna doesn't belong to anyone. This helps us to position ourselves in dialogue. It helps to, going back to humility, it helps us to be humble. And then tied in with both of these is honesty. And honesty is the basis of trust. And trust is the basis of relationships. And relationships is where, when there's relationship, there can be dialogue, there can be communication. And honesty in dialogue can mean to say, when some aspect, some discussion comes up, to say, that's something I don't know about, or to say, well, that's something I don't have experience of, this kind of realization that our tradition tells us about. I don't have this myself, but this is what we read that advanced spiritualists, Vaishnavas, have like that. Perhaps it goes without saying, but the principle of respect is, of course, essential. And this is the principle that Lord Chaitanya gives, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorivat Sahishuna, Amanina Manadena. Being ready to offer all respects to others, that's manada. And amanina, without expectation of being respected oneself. And then along with respect comes tolerance. There will be people who are disrespectful, insensitive. They can be downright nasty in relation to our tradition. Surely because of their ignorance. Ignorance is at the root of all material conditions. And then what do? You have to be tolerant. And if there is appears to be a place of listening, if a person is showing any openness, then one may, with some politeness, just forgive. Well, in any case, whatever their behavior, one can forgive them for their ignorance. And we may be able to explain ourselves, but not always. There are those who will not be interested in listening. Time, place, and circumstance. Well, actually, this is a very big part of becoming a little expert in dialogue, is creating the right kind of, or favorable circumstances, a favorable condition for dialogue. This can involve many factors, including just the physical factors of time and place. Circumstances may have to do with who is present, and where possible, it may be possible, it may not be possible, but we may want to be selective in who we talk with. We may make invitations. I'm thinking again of Narottama Prabhu arranging this Vaishnava Christian dialogue. So this is basically by invitation only. They are, you can say, quite mature people who are involved. And what we've already discussed, what is dialogue? It means listening, trying to understand, and possibly finding as we listen, where is there some little point that we can connect with. An example just comes to mind because one of the presenters in the Sacred Journeys conference from the last few days gave a very interesting presentation on what he called vertical pilgrimage. He was talking basically about rock climbing as pilgrimage. And of course, rock climbing involves incredibly intense concentration and endurance, determination, and just a lot of nerve. But he was showing some video clips of some really scary-looking rock climbing. And so the rock climbers are always looking for little cracks where they can insert one of their, whatever it's called, crampon, I think it's called, where they can then tie a rope, pull themselves, a few centimeters or 1 meter, whatever, further up. So I don't know if this is a good example, but with dialogue, it can be challenging. Someone is coming from a very different worldview, how do you relate to them? And so it's like rock climbing. If we can find the little cracks, so to say, the little openings where we see something we can relate to one way or another, this can become very, it can be very interesting. It can be fun to connect with people through careful listening. Well, we are already coming toward the end of our time, and I think, therefore, rather than going on, maybe I stop there. Let's stop the share. And I've been neglecting the chant. The chat box. Oh yes, Kavi Chandra Prabhu has given us a link to Kadamba Kanana Maharaj's little book. I recommend it's a very short book. It's just a booklet. It's all of 16 pages. So I recommend that because I find it very helpful. I think all of us at one time or another may have struggled with this question: what is my relation to this institution? Or even we may ask ourselves, do I have any relation with this institution? And so I think this is very helpful to get the bigger picture, so to say. Yulia is asking, where do we find this podcast? I'm not sure which podcasts that question is referring
about Black
to.
Lives Matters, Guru Maharaj.
Huh?
About Black Lives Matters, the podcast.
Oh. There's a devotee named Nama Rasa Das, and I think if you just search, probably if you search YouTube for that name, he has a regular broadcast, Nama Rasa. So then, well, now we're seeing another announcement that's saying that Bhakti Swami has left. I have to say now that I'm hesitant to say that this is the final word, because we've been told that there are rumors. So it's strange, a strange time we live in, fake news and whatever. So Hare Krishna. So I won't comment further on that, except to say, let us hope for the best. Right. Hare Krishna. I hope everyone is happy and well, and I hope you will keep well. I am still in Sadhu-bhavan in Poland, and again, the plan at present is no plan. So I'll be here, and as far as I know, Krishna willing, we can have another gathering next Saturday at this time, if that's wanted.
It's wanted, Guru Maharaj, absolutely.
Hare Krishna. All right. Yes, so we'll stop there. And I wish you a great Saturday and rest of the weekend and rest of the week. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavarinda ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Subhadra Baladeva ki jai, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Shri 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 Radha Shyamasundar ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, Shri Shri Gandharvika Giridhari, Gaur Premanande, Haribo.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. So see you again next Saturday. Hare Krishna.